Speaking of Bud, I know he retired, but if he did come out of retirement, who you got in a rematch, him or Canelo?
I think Bud would knock him out.
What if I told you Terence Crawford's historic win in September almost felt understated? We saw him take apart Canelo Alvarez step by step, cementing himself as the top fighter in the world, delivering a performance that was precise and unforgettable. Fans witnessed a masterclass in breaking down a Mexican legend. Yet, according to someone who knows Crawford better than most, we didn't see everything. It's possible that Crawford was still holding back, showing only part of what he's truly capable of.
Go from here, Henry.
He needs to rematch. If I'm Canelo, I want to rematch Terence Crawford. He got schooled, bro. He got outboxed, dude, by Terence Crawford. And I know that he's itching to get that one back. The first time he fought Triple G, and he came back the second time, and he legit beat Triple G.
Once in a lifetime fight. It doesn't need to be a rematch. I think Bud would do worse the next fight. He would put it on Canelo a little worse than that, because that style of fight, I don't think he beats someone like Terence Crawford. But if I'm Terence Crawford, of course I'll fight him again. But this time, I'm the A side. I think Terence Crawford is going to be more confident next time, knowing that I can punch with this guy. I can take his shot. I'm faster.
He fought Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
He didn't do what the last two did, just run. He threw at him. I'm going to call you.
Shakur Stevenson has now revealed a striking perspective that changes how we remember that historic night. While fans and analysts were busy celebrating Crawford's clear victory over Canelo Alvarez, Shakur claims there was more going on in the ring than anyone realized. Crawford wasn't just winning, he was holding back. The boxing world is now buzzing with the idea that Crawford, a master of his craft, walked into the fight, dismantled a legendary opponent with precision, and consciously chose not to fully unleash his power. It's a reminder of just how dominant Crawford truly is, and it raises a chilling warning for the future. If Canelo Alvarez is bold or perhaps reckless enough to sign a contract for a rematch, that same mercy or restraint won't exist the second time. Crawford won't hold back again, and the consequences could be devastating, making the next encounter even more high-stakes and unpredictable for everyone watching.
85+ chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something, which will fall into Canelo's hand. He would love for him to prove something. That means you will stay there and try to prove something. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the first round, that I belong, without showing that I am tough, I earned my position to be here, and I want to show you, even though you're being stubborn, that your time not only have came, but it's gone. He ain't going to surrender and say, I'll slow it up, so I'm going to act like it. No, he has to be shown, and it has to be.
Let's take a closer look at what Shakur Stevenson revealed, because the details are both fascinating and unsettling. In a recent interview, Shakur explained what was really happening in Crawford's mind during those 12 rounds. While most fans saw a tight, strategic battle, Shakur noticed something else entirely. He says Crawford repeatedly had Canelo hurt or exposed but deliberately chose to pull back. According to Shakur, Crawford had an extra gear he didn't even touch, not because he couldn't finish Canelo, but because he didn't need to. He had the confidence to face a puncher like Alvarez, see the opportunity for a knockout, and decide instead to stay disciplined. Shakur even compares Crawford to a skilled bank robber. Enter, take what you want, and walk away unscathed. The knockout was there, but Crawford chose the safest route, leaving a chilling question. If Canelo Alvarez at his best couldn't push Crawford past second gear, does anyone really stand a chance?
I know he retired, but if he did come out of retirement, who you got in a rematch, him or Canelo?
I think Bud would knock him out the next time. Yeah, I think Canelo is one of the hardest dudes to knock out, but I think it was points in that fight where you could tell Bud wanted to step it up and push on the gas a little bit more. But he's like, shit, the name of the game is win. So he did the veteran thing to do. But you could tell deeper inside of the way Bud thinking, his mentality, that he knew he had another gear that he could have took it to. And that was the ultimate highest level already. So it's he can even go past that, is what he kind of knew. So I think the next time he probably would be like, that, let's take it to that next gear and try to get Canelo out of there.
Yeah, that would be crazy if he knocked Canelo off.
To understand why Crawford never went for the knockout, you have to sense the energy inside his corner that night. Shakur Stevenson wasn't just watching from afar, he was right there, fully immersed in the action. He admitted that during the middle rounds, as momentum clearly shifted in Crawford's favor, He was shouting from ringside, but not urging him to finish Canelo. Instead, his message was the opposite: keep boxing. This is easy work.
I thought he was a stronger fighter when I seen him fight. Yeah, I was screaming the whole time like, shit, keep boxing, champ, keep boxing. That we ain't got to take no risks. We winning this easy work. But you know, he kept doing what he was doing. That was a veteran move.
This gives a rare look into the mindset of Crawford's entire camp. While fans wanted fireworks and promoters imagined a highlight reel knockout, Shakur and the team were focused on one thing: protecting that perfect record. Shakur recalls thinking they were so clearly in control that taking unnecessary risks would have been foolish. Why trade blows with a fighter known for his granite chin when you can simply outthink and outclass him for 45 minutes? What we saw wasn't a fight for survival, it was a calm, precise execution. Crawford wasn't performing for applause. He was there to win. And that cautious, disciplined approach is exactly why Shakur believes a rematch would play out very differently, more aggressive, more dangerous, and far more intense.
Canelo brings him to that Rushmore status.
Well, yeah, because of who Canelo is and what he's accomplished and the weight disparity. Yeah, I can see that. You know, that put him over the edge. But, you know what I mean? Because, like I say, you do need us. It is the victories that you have that propel the people in the people's mind, not just your skill set. You know, it's the skill set you apply with the other great fighters. And I think he did that, and it was a dominant victory as well. So I can see that. That's solidified him.
Basically got the leftover of the best. Like, you know what I mean? It was Spence. There was a couple more walks away.
How was Spencer leftover?
The leftover.
How was Spencer leftover?
One of them, bro. I don't care about nope.
Okay, but listen to this. When I hear him say that, tell me, how was Spencer leftover? Spencer was undefeated.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. He broke Ugas's face. He beat Danny, who was still a formidable champ. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
So how was Spencer?
Opponent.
How was Spencer a leftover?
Yeah, nah, I don't agree. Definitely not a leftover.
Nah, not at all.
So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just, and then another thing at the same time, he couldn't get them fights. Them guys, that is on personal record. It's on record. If you want to research it, it's on record that each one of those guys, they treated Bud so bad. They were so weak, and boxing and sport is supposed to be different. They were so trash that they had, on one of them PBC shows, they had all these banners up of the top welterweights and did not have Bud Crawford on the banner. They had Mikey Garcia on the banner and hadn't even fought at welterweight. Hadn't beat not a single welterweight. They had him as a top welterweight based on his accomplishments at 26 and 30 and 140. He never even beat a top welterweight. But Bud was a world champion at welterweight, a reigning world champion. And they had a list of banners of champions, of banners of the best welterweights, and he wasn't up there.
This focus on smart, low-risk boxing didn't come out of nowhere. To really grasp Shakur's perspective on Crawford, you have to consider the influence of the man they both call Big Brother, Andre Ward. In that same interview, Shakur opened up about his own growth, explaining how his boxing IQ was forged in the early, quiet hours studying old Andre Ward fights on repeat until 5 a.m., learning the game move by move.
Yep. People don't know that. Like, you know what's crazy? When I was a kid, when I first started getting to a higher level in boxing as an amateur, Andre Ward was the guy who I used to just sit up and watch all night long. Like, I'd stay up till 5 a.m. just sitting there watching Andre Ward tape. So he was the guy. That was the last guy who won an Olympic gold medal. That's my guy. That's my big...
Shakur calls Andre Ward the greatest inside fighter he's ever seen, a statement he doesn't make lightly. Watching Crawford dismantle Canelo, you can see Ward's influence in every move, controlling distance, shutting down offense, and winning rounds while taking minimal damage. Shakur values these so-called boring wins because he understands the brilliance behind them. What might look like running to casual fans is actually a masterclass in timing and positioning. This connection to Ward is why Shakur speaks with such confidence he's not exaggerating. As a dedicated student of boxing, he recognizes that Crawford fights on a level Canelo could never fully reach.
For skill, I ain't never been in the ring with nobody more skillful than Crawford. And at that time, I had no clue that this dude could even fight from the orthodox stance. He didn't even switch orthodox. But you can see his wrestling background also. You know what I'm saying? When he put his chin on my back and he kind of rolled around me and got out of the corner. You saw that old lay where he's stepping around me and pushing me to the side, man. Or the head control. Crawford was so advanced at an early age, 23 years old, man. And with 12 fights, professional fights, he was so damn advanced. I was like, wow. This dude gonna take over the sport. This dude is more than just...
Of course, whenever Shakur praises Crawford, people online accuse him of bias, saying, he's his brother, of course he'd say Crawford held back. And they're not entirely wrong. Loyalty runs deep in boxing. But Shakur's credibility goes beyond family ties. Even before the fight, when opinions were split and the odds were tight, he was one of the few voices confidently predicting it wouldn't be close. He warned anyone who would listen that Crawford would completely outclass Canelo, and he was right.
Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
You don't think the weight difference is gonna be too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, in certain fights,
Boxing makes it something, not us.
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would like apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's like physically kind of big, but like height wise, he's kind of small. So I don't think so now.
Corey, how you got a decision to stoppage? Because Bradman and Boozy think that Bud actually might stop him.
Me and Boozy talked about that. That's crazy. Me and him got on the phone and talked about it, but I think that's possible. Like, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I think it's a possibility if Canelo gets to acting out of line and not understanding that Bud could crack too.
Shakur was proven right. He predicted that Canelo's size and power wouldn't matter because Crawford's reach and timing would neutralize it completely. So when he now says Crawford held back, it's not just family loyalty, it's an informed observation from someone whose analysis has been spot on. The idea that Crawford spared Canelo a knockout might sound bold, but given Shakur's track record, it's a claim worth taking seriously. If Crawford truly fights above the level we saw in September, the pound-for-pound debate isn't just settled, it wasn't really close to begin with. But Shakur hasn't only stirred discussion with his Crawford insights, he's also sparked controversy through his connection with Jake Paul. For years, he dismissed Paul's fights, yet recently he was seen sparring and working with him, drawing criticism from purists. Shakur explained it was purely business, not technique. He was studying a brilliant mind. Paul revolutionized women's boxing, turning fighters who once earned little into million-dollar earners, and Shakur admired the strategy. Like Crawford, he values effectiveness over perception. Whether it's executing a controlled, precise fight or learning from a controversial figure, his goal remains the same, achieving success by any means necessary.
First got made, I'm not watching it. Like, I still wasn't gonna watch it because I still didn't believe, to me, like that was it wasn't that type of like event for me. I'm not into it. I love boxing. Like, I love stuff that makes sense, like boxing at the highest level. I watch that. It's certain fights nowadays where if I see the two fighters that's fighting and they not on the level or it's a fight that don't make sense, I might not watch. And I think that's how people kind of took it as like, oh, but you not gonna watch, but you'll go spar him? Yeah, it's a business at the end of the day. It's a opportunity to meet somebody with a great mind. If you watch Jake Paul, it's not just boxing. Like, I wasn't there for just boxing. I wanted to, like, the questions of the business, like how he think, like that guy is changing a whole entire female sport. Like, how did you even think of getting to do that? Like, that's crazy. Now female fighters is making $1 million. They never thought that that would even be possible until Jake Paul came in the game. So truthfully, bro, like from my side, it's like, shit, I wanna, like, what made you even get to that thought process? Like, I want to change the entire female sport. Like, with my platform, this is how I want to do it. And I respect him. I respect great business minds, people who think on a higher level than just this. There's a lot of people that think like.
So what does this mean for Canelo and Crawford? If Canelo activates his rematch clause, he could be walking straight into a trap. Shakur's warning is clear. In the first fight, Crawford was content to win on points. He proved his dominance and claimed the belts. But a rematch changes everything. The goal isn't just to win anymore, it's to make a statement. Shakur believes Crawford will tap into that next gear, ignoring any corner advice to keep boxing. This time, he'll aim to finish the fight. The psychological advantage is completely Crawford's. He knows he can hurt and outbox Canelo, and if he chooses to trade blows, Shakur is confident the Mexican superstar won't make it to the final bell. What once looked like a rematch for redemption could quickly become a high-stakes gamble with legacy on the line. Does Canelo really want to find out what happens when Crawford stops holding back?
Mexican fighters have a good history of taking L's and coming back in a big way. They do. Barrera got knocked out by Junior Jones, then he got dismantled by Manny Pacquiao, and both times people were like, oh, he might be done. And he came back and became a champion. Chavez would come back and become champion. So there's good pedigree for a great Mexican fighter like Canelo to take that loss and come back and win, which I think he's capable of. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I might favor Hamza Shiraz to beat him right now, though. Shiraz is big at 6'3". He's fast. He punches hard.
A lot right there in front of him.
And he's hungry and he's humble.
Yeah.
And I think Turkey wants to see him become a champion in the Middle East and kind of build around him in those events. I think that's a great fight. I might favor Shiraz right now. Canelo's made a lot of money. He doesn't really fight at a high pace these days. So I don't count the great Canelo Alvarez out. But some of those Mexican fighters I mentioned, they didn't make as much money. They weren't on as many silk sheets as Canelo was. So I think it might be Shiraz's division.
And you got to imagine that Canelo's almost done. So for Canelo to go out with a win over Shiraz on that kind of platform, that kind of moment, that kind of money that really would stamp his career, and I feel like his career is already stamped.
It is.
What more do you really need to do? But that really would put that stamp. You drop this one with Terence. That's the comeback right there. That's the story that trumps losing to Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? So I think that would be a beautiful way for him to go out. Obviously, should that fight happen and should he have, the upper hand in that fight, you count him out and you think that Shiraz might possibly win that fight. But I think that Canelo still got enough.
We often hear about fighters giving it their all, but it's rare to see someone win the biggest fight of their career while holding back. Shakur Stevenson has revealed a side of Terence Crawford far more intimidating than what fans witnessed, a champion who chose restraint over destruction. As the boxing world waits to see if Canelo will take the rematch, he faces a daunting question. Is it worth stepping back into the ring with a man who treated their first fight like a rehearsal? If Shakur is right, next time Crawford won't be trying to outpoint him, he'll be aiming to end it. And in boxing, there's no opponent more dangerous than a master who's decided the games are over.
You were trying to just figure them out. Was that the game plan to start turning it up maybe in round 4?
Well, the first 3 rounds, I felt like I was in control. I think he was trying to figure me out.
Did you feel that you were frustrating him? He tried to lift you up. He headbutted you. Were you sensing that you were frustrating him?
Of course. He was a little frustrated in there, but that's part of the game.
The last question is that I know it's right after the fight. Have you feel yet the significance of this win and what it means in your legacy and your career?
To be honest, when I set my sights on doing something and I know what I'm capable of, it's not like a surprise to me. It's a surprise to y'all because y'all didn't believe me. But for me, I knew I could do it. And I believed that I could do it. I just needed the opportunity.
Terence, when did you know that you were going to beat him? Over here on your left.
When he signed the contract.
That's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our next update. Share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.